Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Dan.
Together we are the Office Blokes.
Yes, indeed.
It is true. Now, starting this week, allegedly, we're going to be doing the US office over on Patreon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Full episode watch-alongs.
We do full episodes of Family Guy every week, and we're going to be doing full episodes of the US office.
Yeah, it's going down really well. So,
if that's your thing, how can people go about checking that out, Mike?
well, if they go to patreon.com and put in Office Blokes React, you'll find us right there. You can start joining our Patreon for just £1.50 a month, and you'll get all that content.
Bargain.
Brilliant. Absolute bargain.
Absolute bargain.
Yeah.
Right
Cheap
then.
as
Chips. Right then, Texas seizes Cartel Island in the Rio Grande in risky first-of-a-kind operation. Had to concentrate for
So
that.
everyone in Texas seizes it.
Yeah, the whole of
The whole
Texas
of
just
Texas.
invades a little
Everyone just
island.
went, let's go, whoosh.
So I'm presuming there's a little island
okay.
in the middle of the river somewhere
Yep.
that's been used as the base of operations for maybe people smuggling or
Okay.
drug
Correct.
smuggling
Yeah,
or
that's
something.
what I'm thinking.
Right, let's check it out. I'm not reading out the title again, it was too long.
At dawn's early morning light Monday, October 2, heavily armed and armored police of the elite Texas Rangers assembled around their commanders for a final mission briefing on the Rio Grande border with Mexico. The unusual mission? To invade and occupy the 170-acre Fronton Island in the Rio Grande, near the village of Fronton and town of Roma, made locally notorious as a Mexican cartel hub for smuggling drugs and immigrants north, and weapons and cash back, and for worse things. Leaders of the operation warned the fidgety men of Texas Department of Public Safety and assigned National Guard that this one was riskier than most.
We do have blood on site in case we do need it. In case of we do get engaged and someone is shot or something, go ahead and work your tactics, get off the X, L8, Buddy 8, and we'll do the medical evac.
Let's keep a close eye on those structures that are up there that have that height advantage on us. We have not seen people in there yet, but we know that that's what they're used for. So,
By prior agreement, Mexican federales had supposedly secured the other side that day, but Texas commanders told the men some Mexican soldiers were corrupted and to take no comfort in any promise of prevention this day. When the invasion pep talk ended and the sun was spreading orange rays of light, it was on. They boarded convoys of roaring all-terrain vehicles and invaded Fronton Island.
By the way, he's using his descriptions there.
know,
Roaring
yeah.
vehicles or bright orange rays.
I know, yeah. He's very descriptive, isn't he?
He started off with the dawn's early light,
He
didn't
did,
he?
correct.
Which was- I
I
almost
noticed that.
saluted that.
When he
for
said
a
it, I was
minute
like,
there.
hey up. You know,
Sort
it's,
of hand on my heart.
is this a government promo video type thing? Is
I
it?
think he's just a good patriot.
Yeah.
This was just the beginning to make way for a massive brush clearing operation next that will denude the island of most vegetation. This will go on for some weeks. Texas Department of Public Safety spokesman Chris Olivares explains.
And what's the idea behind clearing all the brush?
To have more visibility. To have better visibility. Yeah. Right now you can see they have an elevation. We're lower than Mexico, so obviously we're at a disadvantage. So we want to clear the brush. That we have a more tactical advantage against them. And then we'll have National Guard posted here. We'll have concertina wire.
It is actually part of a broader campaign of river island seizures that began in 2023. Those seizures were mainly to deny their use as cover for illegal immigrant crossings. But this one is different because not just immigrants use this island. Heavily armed cartel operatives use it as a major sanctuary and to traffic drugs. The other side is lined with clearly marked cartel buildings, and everyone over there is heavily armed. Here, a large barn-like warehouse just across from the island bears the Cartel del Noreste ownership signature, CDN. Other nearby buildings like this one, pocked by bullet holes, show the name of the rival Gulf Cartel. In this volatile environment, Texas will, for the first time, have to occupy and fortify the island in a way that protects Texas police and guardsmen from taking fire. which could happen at any time no matter what Mexican security forces promise.
I'm unsure who owns the island, whether it comes under Mexico or USA.
Yeah, same here.
They've not really sort of like elaborated on that much, have they?
I think with it being a joint operation and the Mexicans are on one side, maybe it is just sort of a
no
no man's land.
Yeah, like a zone and like a military zone.
Yeah, because you'd think if it belonged to the US, it'd
Immigration
just
zone.
we're just going to do it.
Yeah.
It's a weird one, this though, isn't it? Because there could legitimately be cartel guys in the bushes.
Yeah.
But why this island and these cartels? The answers are also unique. The Gulf Cartel and Cartel del Noreste have held violent reign in this part of South Texas because long ago both Mexico and the U.S. forgot who even owned Fronton Island.
There you go.
Without diplomatic permission to operate on it, the law enforcement and military of both countries shied away from risking diplomatic offense to the other. That left the 170 acres to the cartels and spiked its criminal real estate value.
You know, I don't know what Mexico claims. I don't know if they're claiming ownership of that property. As far as the state, it's always been in question. And as far as the Border Patrol is concerned, with my experience there, it was always let's not get on there and find out. Because we were not sure. And if we happen to come upon something we shouldn't have or of interest, the optics of that whole thing might have asked or opened up a big old Pandora's box of holy moly.
The ownership ambiguity allowed the island to be used as a haven for cartel operatives fleeing Mexican military crackdowns, or when American law enforcement chased them south. The island is used as a weapons cache for guns and ammunition recently found in a bag on the island. In it was an explosive. The island also was valuable because cartel scouts could easily monitor the only paved road that U.S. police could drive into the village of Fronton from the nearest highway. So cartels could easily time their loads for movement north, a highly valuable attribute. Gunmen not only jealously guarded and fought over the island, but lost any reluctance to shoot at police officers and each other, as they did in early October. In November 2016, gunmen on the island opened fire on DPS troopers surveilling them, wounding one in an ensuing gun battle. In 2019, someone fired more than 50 rounds at a patrolling Border Patrol boat, riddling it, but miraculously wounding no one. Fatal shootings and body discoveries are not uncommon on the Fronton area stretch of river. The people of Riverfront Fronton have lived in a state of cowering fear as drug traffickers like these men, recently caught on a stationary game camera on the island, cross back and forth into town moving drugs and guns with impunity. This 80-year-old lifelong Fronton resident, whose fence had just been torn open by a marijuana trafficker who crashed into it during a police chase, said he hasn't gone near his river neighbor's property 200 yards away in 30 years.
And tell me why do you not go? It's just right over here.
I'm afraid.
But what really catalyzed the Texas...
Obviously scared to be shown on camera talking about it as well.
You don't want to get involved in these guys. These are the
bad people, aren't they?
Yeah.
It must be terrifying being near there, knowing that people are actively coming with weapons that are doing illegal activity. You could just get shot and then they just disappear back. And
just doing, like say, with impunity, doing what they want, aren't they? When they want, and there's no.
It seems like they know, like the cops said before, though. They know it's happening. They don't want to find anything on there that it's going to open a can of worms. But it's one of them where I don't know how they're getting across the river, and how is it being patrolled on the other side? Yeah, it must be a hotbed for this. And are they just letting it happen, blind eye?
It seems like it, doesn't it? It seems like they're not sure who actually owns the place, so all of them are just, thinking, it's not mine. Otherwise, we'll have to deal with it.
Just doesn't seem to be that hard to police, does it?
You wouldn't have thought so, would you?
Going further into the USA, even if you moved the border even if Mexico owned it and you moved the border up, you still have to cross into the USA, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah.
But I mean, it's not far. is it?
No,
you sit under some brush and shrubbery until there's no cops around, and you just go across that.
Yeah.
It's easy, isn't it?
His decision to occupy the island is the perception that it's all gotten far worse since Border Patrol agents are redeployed elsewhere to process overwhelming numbers of immigrants. That's according to Texas Department of Public Safety's Regional Director Victor Escalon.
The federal government, they're not able to cover all these areas and provide the safety, the security for landowners that are in Texas. Bottom line, because when you have a landowner telling you, "Hey man, I'm out here feeding my cows, and I see 3 men coming across with a backpack and they're armed. Why do I have to live like that?" Well, this is the answer, and I call it being proactive.
And because the cartels in the area are viciously battling one another after moving into the lucrative business of moving immigrants. Recently, these immigrants who poured through the Fronton area said they paid $9,000 for one parent and one child to cross, $15,000 for this family of 3, which paid half up front and owes the rest. First, though, the Texas Land Commissioner's Office had to survey and determine that all of the island belonged to Texas. That set the stage for Monday's operation and for everything that will happen here in the coming months. Not everyone, though, is optimistic that the Texas effort and expense of clearing the island and defending it under constant physical threat will end the area's problems. Other large, thickly vegetated islands are situated across from Fronton, too.
All it's going to do is do away with an island. I think they can still move whatever commodity they want to get north or south. It's going to be, a speed bump for them, I think, in my opinion. Because they have the resources, they have the money, they have the time, they're not unionized, They don't have regular work hours. They're not shift workers.
At the end of this first day of operations, National Guard engineers were already clearing the first roads in, and Texas forces planted the state flag. But the flag planting was really much more of a beginning than an end, as any occupation of contested territory usually turns out to be. I'm Todd Bensman with the Center for Immigration Studies in Fronton, Texas.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
No, it's really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, immigration and people trafficking around the world now is just like, it's off the charts, and it's big.
It's absolutely everywhere, isn't it? Absolutely everywhere.
They reckon there's more slaves now than there ever has been.
Yeah.
Around
like
the
the
world.
ones there who paid 15,000 or something like that, paid 7,000 or 8,000 up front, then owed the rest.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy's going to be working the rest of their life for him, isn't he?
Yeah.
He won't just be able to pay it off in a few months or anything like that.
No.
He'll be sort of like tied to him forever, probably.
Yeah.
There's probably interest on it as well.
Sorry, there was a stat of how many immigrants there were around the world. I can't remember what the number was, but it was a massive number.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. It's just so much instability or instability around the world at the moment that people are fleeing and going to different countries. We're just full.
Yeah.
Here.
I watched that prison program I told you about, and it was in Greece. And it was the guy spent a week in a Greek prison, and there's barely any Greek people there.
Yeah,
it's all the human traffickers and stuff. People are getting caught with HGVs full of people. And the sentence, they're getting like 100-year sentences. These guys, but it's not deterring people.
I don't know when the last time you've done any motorway driving, but if you stop at the motorway services, you see the border patrol people driving on the services now. I've never seen them before.
I've not seen that. No,
it's
are they looking for like
suspicious?
Proactive and stuff?
Because I go down to Birmingham quite a bit. Sometimes you have to stop for fuel on the services, and it's you see the vans driving around. Especially in the big sort of like service areas.
It's probably a good deterrent as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Being out there, physically out there, and you know.
Well, did you ever see years ago in Manchester there'd always be like quite old Chinese ladies selling DVDs? That'd be like 15 years ago now, 20 years ago. That was human trafficking.
Yeah.
Because they're literally working off the debt that they owe to come to the country.
Yeah.
It's like you've got to go and work for us selling DVDs on the streets for probably the rest of your life until you've paid off the money you owe us.
And
it's right there.
It's still happening.
They'll never pay it off.
No, they won't.
Still happening, just not DVDs.
Yeah. I think that's the point, though. They don't want them to pay it off.
Yeah, exactly.
They want you to be constantly in servitude to them, don't they?
Yeah,
that's right.
Sad, really, isn't it?
Ah, terrible.
Yeah, interesting to find out about that.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.